All right, welcome to codezing.org. Today's project is a level 1 project called Message Ninja, and you can find the code and an example at codezing.org/ninja. Let's head over to the site and see what we have. So if you go to codezing.org, to level 1 code, scroll down to Message Ninja. So what it's going to do is it's going to take your message and chop it into 3 pieces. So let's give that a try. What are you doing today, computer? And we'll slice it, and you can see it gives back the 3 pictures. What are you doing today, computer? All right, so chopped it into 3 chunks and then printed it back out. So let's grab the code and take a look. So if we click on the button, here's the Python code. We will copy that. And open up your Spider IDE and paste that in. If you don't have Spider or you don't have Python, it's all free and open source. Head back to the website and follow the links. There's instructions on how to get Python on your computer. It's really easy to get started. So if we dig into the code a little bit, the first thing we're going to do, I always like to space it out a little so I can see it better. The first thing we're going to do, like on all the other projects, is you need some sort of input from the user. This one calls the Python function input, which prints this to the display and then takes whatever the user inputs and sets it equal to message. So let's give it a go, and you can see it says type message to slice. So it's just putting this up on the screen and expecting you to type something in. So I'll type this is our test message, and if I hit enter, there we go, it chopped it into 3. So the first part is just doing this, the type message to slice, and then letting you enter the message, and then setting that message equal to the variable that I named message. So same thing if I do print message, and print just displays whatever's within the brackets. So our variable message is going to be, you can see that when I entered messages it now sets the variable message equal to what I typed in. So cool. The next step in the process is getting the length of the message. So we're creating a new variable called message length, and we're setting it equal to this len is the length of the variable message, and that's just counting the length of the actual message, the number of characters. So let's just see what that is. I'll get it to print it out here, and if we just throw in our message, see that it actually counts out all of the characters, each one, automatically, and tells you that it's 20 characters long. The reason we're doing that is so we can assess how big each third of the message should be. Right? Because if you have a message that's 3 letters, then each slice is just going to be 1 letter long. If you have something that's 99, a message that's 99 characters, then each third is going to be 33 characters. So this allows the code to be used for any length of message. It automatically finds the total length of the message, and then this is just a quick math function, right? Message length, which is the number of characters, and then the slash is divided by 3. So how long is 1/3 of the message. This int is just converting this number into an integer. So an integer is a number without decimal. So any whole number, positive or negative. So we don't want to try to divide our message down here. Our string won't be able to understand if we don't have int. And maybe we can just try that. So what happens if we didn't put int? Let's run this, and let's say that my message is that long. See, it's going to say slice indices must be integers or none or have an index method. So it has to be an integer or it's not going to work. Let's see if we could have print if you're ever confused about what it's doing, you can use print statements to get it on the display so you can actually see what the variables are being set to and what's happening behind the scenes. And if we say print type thirds, we'll be able to see what type of variable it's creating here. So let me put in another here, and we can see if we go above where the error is, this is all the error display, we can see that it actually calculated that as 4.66666, and that the class of that is a float. So a float is any real number that's can have a decimal. So positive or negative, it can have a decimal, just not imaginary numbers, which would be probably not a topic for this lecture. So that's a float, and it specifically says down here it must be an integer. So by encasing this in int, so if we make that int, we're forcing it to become an integer. And we can see here that it chopped it into 5 pieces. Each third is a fifth, and it is an integer. So if there was a decimal, it will just chop that off. So previously we had 4.66667. It'll just take the 4 and get rid of this. It doesn't round at all. It just drops the decimal when you convert it to an int like that. All right. So we got the message length. We figured out how big a third is, and now we're going to take the string that was put in by the user, and we're going to chop it into thirds. So this looks a little confusing, but let's parse it out here. So this is just calling the variable, right? It's calling our message, and then this bracket is going to break that string apart. And so we are basically saying start at the beginning, and then this colon says continue through the value for thirds. So on this example we had 5, so it's going to say from the beginning of the string, the blank, through the 5th character is equal to slice 1. This next one is going to say, right, this is basically equal to, let me just copy this and go down. So if this wasn't a variable and we actually set the number as a hard-coded number, this is basically saying from the very first item, which is the 0th item, all the way to the 5th item is slice 1. By making it blank, it just means it starts at the beginning, and thirds is a calculation, which in this example is equal to 5. Slice 2 is going to start at thirds and then go through thirds plus thirds. So in the last example, thirds was equal to 5, and thirds plus thirds is just 5 plus 5. Right, so 5 plus 5 is 10. So these would be equivalent if thirds is calculated to be 5. So that's 5 through 10, and then slice 3 is going to be thirds plus thirds is 10 again, all the way to blank, which blank just means the end. And this colon helps separate the starting and the ending number. So if we start at blank, it means we're starting at the beginning and going to thirds. Thirds to the 10th through the thirds plus thirds to 10, and then thirds plus thirds is 10 through blank, which just means the end. So that's what this code is doing, but it's making it flexible enough to accommodate any message size. If you hard-coded these numbers like I did, 0 and 5, 5 to 10, 10 to the end, and the message is only, one word, like yes, then it's not going to be able to find these slices because the message isn't that long. Or if you had a message that was 100 characters long, it's not going to be equal thirds. So by using variables, you get it to be flexible for any size. So let's put these back how they were, and then the print is just going to print out the text that I typed in between the quotes, and then a comma to separate the text piece from the variable. And so it's going to take slice 1, slice 2, and slice 3, which we did up here, and print those out. Let's do it one more time for fun. This is fun. When we run it, we can see that it indeed chopped it into thirds, and that this will work for any message size. Let's say that we wanted to do it in 5 slices. We can do 5, and then our thirds now, you can leave it called thirds because Python doesn't care what you call a variable. You could even call it just x. And we're going to say slice 1 is message 0 through x. Slice 2 will be, what do we think, x, and then x plus x. So we're going x to x plus x, and then slice 3. Slice 3 is going to be message xx to, what are we going to have here? We're going to have, let's say, x times 3, or xxx. We're going to need 2 more slices here if we're going to do it into 5 pieces. So we'll do slice 4 and 5. So this is going to start at x times 3 and go to what? X times 4. And this will start at x times 4 and go to the end. Let's see if we can't get it to print those out as well. So slice 4, slice 5, 4 and 5. All right. Let's see if I did that right. Go. Cool. So chopping it into fifths, and it does look like maybe it wasn't equally fifths. And why would that be? 0 to x, x to x times 2, x times 2 to x times 3, 3 to 4, 4 to the end. A little baffled why that didn't exactly make it to the end. If somebody knows, feel free to add a comment to the end to help everybody out, or you can send me an email and I'll add it to the video. Let's just see if we can. 9. I won't know for sure. Oh, there. Chopped it equally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, maybe it is working right. It looks like, it seems to me like it should work. But that's always the fun of computer programming, or sometimes the frustration of computer programming. Right, you got to write some code, you hit run, you see what happens, and sometimes you get something like that. Oh, it's happy with that. Alright. But like always, if you blow up your code, don't worry. Once I blow it up, the string indices must be integers. If you don't know what that means, you feel like you made a mistake, you can always go back to the website and just start over. Copy and paste it in, and you're good to go again. So feel free to play around. If you come up with something cool, feel free to email it to me and we can get it up on the site for everybody else to learn from, and we'll give you credit and you can be famous on the internet. So have fun coding, and good luck.